Hi there, this is Art and Such with my Rainbow Loom tutorial for Legolas from Lord of the Rings and the Hobbit. Now you have a lot of flexibility with the color here because through the different movies, the different lighting, sometimes his cape and his outfit appear to be brown, sometimes they look more gray, sometimes they look green, and you could even get away with a silver or a black. This is the color scheme that I am using. I have black for the pants, the belt, and the kind of wrist guard here. A little bit of white for the mid-arm, brown for the rest of the outfit and for the cape, a pale skin tone for the face. I'll be using a couple of small black beads for the eyes, and I'll show you how to throw those on with dental floss, or you can use bands. And for the hair, originally I used a bright yellow, and this time I'm going to try it with this golden shade. Ideally, the lighter and whiter you can get, the better, but you'll have to work with what's available to you. So we're going to do pretty well what you see here, although as I said, I will change the hair color this time, and I will show you the cape as like with single bands rather than double. You'll see what I mean when we get there. Let's start with our arms, and we're going to take a single skin tone, wrap it 3 times around the hook, get 4 loops, and pull it on to 3 sets of double black bands. 1, 2, and 3. Grab your white, and we're going to do 2 sets of double white bands. And we're going to switch to brown, or the color of your cape and suit. We're going to do 3 sets of double brown or cape colored bands. And this will be one arm. We're going to make the other one. We'll go a little faster this time. Single wrapped 3 times, skin tone. Hold on to 3 sets of double black bands. On to 2 sets of double white bands. And on to 3 sets of double brown. Let's go to our loom. We're going to have it in the offset configuration, middle row just above the other 2, and grab 2 skin tone bands, come down from the top center to the second in the center. Take 2 brown and come down once from the second center to the second right, and 2 bands from the second center to the second on the left. We'll come down 5 times with double brown bands on either side down the loom. Stretchy one there. 2, 3, 4, 5. We can put our arms on the second pegs down on either side, transfer off all of the bands on your hook. On the right side, same thing. And down the middle we come with 6 sets of double brown bands. So it's going to land or wind up just below the 2 sides there. Throw on a pair of black, double black, just below that last brown one on the center. This is your 6th peg from the bottom of the loom if you're counting up. And we're going to come down once on either side with black double bands. We need to meet these in the middle, so from that last one we used on the side to the last one we've used in the middle, and likewise from the left inwards. Let's come down diagonally. From here you can take double black bands and fill up the rest of the loom on either side, and no more in the middle. So that's a total of 5 more sets of black if you're working with a different length of loom, or if it's hard for you to see this. Let's make our boots. I'm using Kate Schultz's method again. It's 2 black bands, or whatever color you like for your boot. We're going to wrap them 2 to 3 times onto the hook, pull them onto double black, keep it on the side here, take 2 more, and we're going to place them on, wrap them twice. You can do it 3 times if you want it tighter. Put the other end back on and slide these both onto double bands. Okay, and this goes on the bottom of your loom on one side, and we'll make one for the other side just the same way. 2 black, wrap it 2 or 3 times. I'm doing it twice, I'll keep it a little loose here. Pull it onto 2. Don't put the end back yet. First we're going to wrap another one in the middle there. So 2 black, wrap once, twice, 3 times if you want. Put your other end back, and we'll pull these all onto 2 black bands. If you can see I'm sliding it really quickly, I'm working with some nice bands here and a nice small gauge hook, but if you have it a little rougher, you can always take over a couple at a time and yeah, go as slow as you need to for whatever your best results can be here. We're going to take a black and cap off that sort of center middle one here, the bottom of the body. We're going to wrap our band 2 times, 3 if you can make it a little tighter, and a single black band in a triangle formation. This is our 6th peg from the bottom of the loom to the 6th peg from the bottom, and we're raising it above the 6th peg from the bottom in the middle in a triangle formation. We're going to do triangles all the way up on top of that in brown or your outfit color, and if you want the body to be slimmer, you can double your bands over and then bring them across. But that's totally optional. I'm just using mine straight. And if it's too loose, you can always give it a tug and adjust it after. We can loop all the way up from the bottom of our leg to our kind of hip area here. So get under your foot. You're going for these bottom 2 bands. You're going to catch them with the open part of your hook. I'm holding my foot down to keep it from coming off, and we're bringing this up and over. And we'll go up 1, 2, 3, 4 more times. And then we don't want to forget, we really need to make sure that we get these diagonal pieces inwards. So go under that cap band in the middle, find the top 2 bands and bring them over to the side. It's going to the left if you follow the same order as me here. I know sometimes I get in a hurry and I just pick whichever side I come to first. And almost lost that one there. This doesn't want to go on. There. Go inside that middle cap and get your next 2 and bring them to the right or your next side. And then find the remaining 2 and you can loop them straight up. Let's continue up the left side. You can pretty well pick your row now, but I'm going to continue up the left, and we're going to push back everything, get the bottom 2, loop up, push back the holding band, keep that out of the way, loop up, we're going straight to the top, to that second from last peg. Here we're going to go for the diagonal bands. Get underneath, pull them to the side if you need to. I think that's what I'll do this time. You can lift up the arm or put it out of the way, whatever you need to get those bottom two and bring them in. We can go to the bottom, get under the other foot, and loop straight up the right side. We actually, we could have put this piece under here, but it should work out about the same. If you are very concerned about symmetry, you can pull up that side diagonal piece, go forward once more and replace it, but I think this will be quite okay. Keep going right to the top again. Oops. And the two diagonal, bring them back to that second peg in the middle. Push it down, we're getting lots of bands on that peg now. Go back to the bottom center, and we're going to loop up the brown, and this time we go to the very, very top of the loom and we include our skin tone when we get to them. Wherever you go, just take the bottom two bands. This is what we have. Need to get your hook inside and ease off some of the tighter sections, loosen it up, get her off. And when you're ready, you will put your hook through the bands on your top center peg and ease this off of the loom the rest of the way. Be right with you. Okay, so in here, give it an adjustment, stretch it out. We can do our belt now or later. I'll show you how to do it now, might as well. And for the belt, I'm just taking 3 black bands and I'm stretching it up over the legs and to the middle of the body, and there it will sit. If you want it to be really, really tight, you can take a single and double it over, but it really will be tight. And I'm going to show you how to secure this as well as soon as I put this on my other hook here. Okay, you don't want your belt flopping, so we're going to take a brown or a black if you choose. We're going to wrap it around the belt, slide it through one of the pieces in the back, create a slip knot, and you can weave it in or leave it loose or put it on a C-clip. I'm just gonna weave it in, mine in for the moment. So I'm pulling it under some of the other bands. For our head, we need our loom again, and you're gonna take the color that you're using for the hair, take double bands and place them from the top center to the top right, top center to the top left. Come down twice on either side with double bands of your hair color. I kind of like the way the bright yellow looked myself actually. But this way you'll get to see 2 versions with the same method. Grab your skin tone, come down 3 times in the middle with double skin tone bands. So top center to the second on the center, second center to third center, third center to fourth center. We're going to come in from the side third to the center fourth, side third to the center fourth. We need our hair chains, and with the yellow jelly ones here, I did chains of 5 singles. We'll try the same with this. So we're taking one, we're wrapping it a couple of times. You can make it as tight or as loose as you want. We're going to pull a single through, put the other end back, and again, single. It's 2, 3, 4, and 5. You can pause a second here, stretch it out, see if you're happy with that length. And I'm looking next to this. This actually came out looking a little bit longer. So I'm gonna take one of these off just because I like the hair to be a little bit shorter. If you are using the jelly, 5 is a really nice number. We're gonna put this on the third peg down on the side, right over the skin tone, and make one for the right side. Single wrap it a couple of times. You can wrap it really tight if you want, or leave it a little loose. I'm gonna do 1, 2, 3, 4. You can do 5 if you want. Put this on the other side. And we take a skin tone and double it over, so twist it, bring it back on top of itself. And I'm gonna do a full diamond here. So this encompasses the second pegs on either side and the second and third pegs in the center. If you want, you can take a single and twist it around, place it on the second pegs, and that might help keep the eyes afloat. I don't want to stretch out my skin tone too much, so I'm going to leave that for the moment. For your eyes, if you are using beads, what you can do if they have a small hole is put a piece of dental floss or a thin wire through in both pieces. Slide your floss or wire through a skin tone band. Turn your wire or floss around and press it back through the eyes, and then give it a little tug and a slide and a pinch until it's right on the band. This goes from our second peg down to our second peg down on the opposite side. I'll show you really quickly. If you're using bands for the eyes, what you'll do is take each of them and wrap it 1, 2, 3, 4. Leave a small space. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then slide both of them onto a skin tone, trying to keep them a little separated. If you are using beads with a larger hole, you could do that very same thing, except you'll put them onto the hook and then slide them off together. We want our eyes a little bit apart, so I'm gonna get my hook in here somehow, and we're gonna take one of these bands and place it over, or one side of this band, place it over the third peg down. And we can take our body now and transfer the skin tone bands from our hook onto the fourth peg down in the center. Make sure you get all of them and hold it down. You can bring this over the peg below if it makes it easier for you. We're going to go in and find the top two bands under the neck, and they are going to the left side. Bring it right over the curls there, push it down, find the next two, and bring them to the right side. And now you can go in underneath and loop up the rest of the way. Push back the band with the eyes and your diamond band. Then we'll go under on either side, get the bottom two bands, bring it up through the others, repeat, and repeat once more, coming up inwards diagonally. Do this again on the right side, 2 gold bands or hair color bands up, and again, and then into the center. And we can grab a band of the hair color too if you want it to be extra secure. Slide it through the bands on the top. And the trick to doing this is to push your hook through with the open part facing away. You grab the band, keep it tight, keep it taut, slide it up, turn around, one end over the other, and we can bring this piece forward to the end of the hook and create a slip knot. Let's release some tension again, and this can come off and we'll make our cape. And then I'll show you how to secure your hair bands a little better. There we go. You can see the hair is on the side now. We're gonna just grab it through this little piece of skin here and pull it to the front first. On the other side, press it under the hair piece or the skin piece. And we'll sort that out in a minute. We're going to put the cape on first. This top piece can go onto a C-clip, or you can hide it under some of the bands on the back, which is what I'm going to do. And we'll put it on a C-clip as well. Alright, back to the loom. Get the color that you'd like for your cape. And we're in the same configuration, although this will work the same if it's, or will work just fine if you're in the rectangular form. And we're going to come down each row all the way to the bottom. Now here you have a choice. You can have a very thick double band cape like this, or you can have a looser cape with single bands. This time I'm going to use single bands. But basically, if you wanted this thicker, all you would do is put down 2 bands every time I put down 1. So this is 1 band, 1 band, 1 band, but if you wanted this thicker, these would all be double bands or pairs of bands coming down. I always find capes to be a tedious part of a project. This design is based pretty closely on, I think it was an Elsa cape design I saw, and I'm afraid I can't cite the channel right now, but I'll try to look that up for you a little bit later. We're going to come to the very bottom of the loom on each of the rows. Doesn't matter which order you do them in, as long as you're starting at the top and coming downwards. Sometimes I like to mix up my order just for kicks. Or I grab them and fill them as I see them. What we have here is going to yield us a very narrow cape, and if you're okay with that, or you're apprehensive about something trickier, then you can leave it as it is. If you want it to be a little bit broader, which I would recommend, then what we're going to do in just a second is add a second layer on the sides, which will act as extensions. First, we need to cap these so that this layer and this section stays close. So I'm taking a single, I'm bringing it across in a triangle formation from the second from the bottom to the second from the bottom and over the second from the bottom in the middle. We'll repeat this on the set above, and above that, and all the way to the top. We're going to be doing triangle holding bands. And you do not need them on the top set. I should mention that as well. Okay, let's put 2 bands across from the bottom to the bottom, and then we're going to stretch this up over the center, up over the center, and here we need to push everything down. If you're just going to loop your bands up the way they are, you'll want to put a little capping band on the end on either side, and then you can loop straight up each row and jump ahead to where I'm taking mine off of the loom. If you're going to go for the extensions, then let me show you how this works. Just press these down a bit, and we're going to go back to the top, and on either side we're going to come down one more time. So if you're doing double bands, you're going to have another set of double bands on top of the holding triangles, like on top of where they sit on the side there. If you're doing singles, as I'm doing here, you're just coming down with a single band from each peg to the next. We're halfway through this part. Okay, other side. We're not doing the center because that would just give us added thickness in the center. It would, or slip to the side. I'm not entirely sure, but I don't think it's really the effect we're going for here. The ones at the side you'll get to see are gonna pop out and just widen or broaden our cape. And 2 more. Okay, we need to finish off the end. We're going to cap the end, take a single, wrap it at least 2 times. You can wrap it tighter if you want. Now we can add a second layer of triangle bands on top, and this is going to keep our side extensions from popping loose all over the place. This keeps it all connected, although it is going to make things a little bit harder for the time being. And I'm hoping your bands aren't overlapping each other too much, but we can always pull pieces to the side and move things around or press them down as the need arises. So we're just coming back over all of the original triangles. And there we are. And we're ready to loop. It looks so pretty here. Okay, come in under the side, and we're going for the top layer of singles, or doubles if you use doubles. You're going to come under your cap band at the very bottom and find the top single band. Only that. It's going to be hard to get, or it might be. For me, it usually is a little. Bring it up over the peg above. Come inside, and the next one, find your top single, bring it up and over. In most of these cases, you're going to have to come under a couple of bands, and one of them will always be one of your triangle bands. But you can see I'm using my nail, I'm using my finger, I'm looking at the side, I'm pushing it out, pushing it down, pressing it so that it has a little more tension and is easier to find. And we're going straight to the top of the loom. If you get through this faster, you can always jump ahead and I'll be with you in just a minute. And if this is stressing you out, feel free to slow it down and take a minute to find your place here. You can see I need a lot of concentration for this section myself. So I really don't want to grab one of the triangle bands, that would be bad. I always kind of hold my breath for this kind of a piece. Just waiting and counting, almost at the top on this one. They tend to overlap really strangely at this section, like at this this juncture in the program here. One more. Good. And I'll show you what to do for this side, and then we'll do the other side. You're going to get your hook under all of the bands that are associated with that chain and pull them to the side, but keep your triangle band where it is. So you're taking 2 bands over each time. We're just bringing this whole chain over to the side. Which of course is a little bit harder than it sounds, but some of you are probably pros out there and are breezing past. You can take off your little cap band at the bottom too, but don't lose the piece above it. Now we're going to go to the other side and loop up the same way. So get under your cap band, find your top single, loop it straight up once. We're going through looking for the top singles. I'm going to turn this to the side here. It's the only way I can really see this. If you get past me on this part, you can jump ahead and do the middle row. And that's actually the easiest of it all, but once we've got this part done, the rest is kind of cake anyway. Turn her out sideways. You know, the funny thing is it doesn't seem to take much longer or be much harder if you're using the double bands instead of the single. I don't know why that is. It just uses more bands really and takes a little longer to lay out. I'm going to go up the middle, and this one is just a straight loop, and we'll have to pull our side extension to the side again in just a second as well. Let's go back and do that. So you're going to take the pieces again, pull them right over that whole top layer of chain. Keep your triangle bands in place, and I'm just kind of scooping in and lifting over. Make sure you keep that bottom layer though. I almost grabbed mine there. So we're gonna loop the last layer in just a minute. And take off that securing band, that cap band at the bottom. And now we go back under on either side, and we're going for the bottom row of singles. So get under that holding band. You're going to take the bottom one, loop it up and over. Press in, bottom one, up and over. It should be a lot smoother, a lot faster from here, because you have just those single ones sitting at the bottom. We don't have as much in the way this time, or as much to sort through for that matter. And last row, go back to the right, and we're gonna loop and scoop up to the top again. Take your single bottom ones, bring them up over each respective consecutive next peg. See, now we're flying, now we're getting close. Once you're at the top, you're going to take your hook and remove all of the bands on the pegs, one peg at a time. Take this off of your loom. You can use another band if you want to ease off the tension. Gonna give everything a little straightening. And we're going to take 2 bands, pull them through all of the ones that are on your hook. You can do a couple at a time or all together. I'm going to put a single through on one side to make this a little bit easier to work with. So this is going to go through the 2 bands as they come out the one side. And I'm going to make a slip knot by placing one over the other, and now we've got a really large piece to work with here. We're going to slide this around our Legolas's head and put it all on the hook. And we can bring our single through the doubles or just one end through the others, and you can pull this to the back and put it on a C-clip, or you can wrap it right around the head 1 or 2 times. Give your eyes a little adjustment. And one other thing that you have the option of doing, I did this with my Samwise, you can stretch out your cape so you form a little gap and bring the arm through so it looks more like it's being worn. You can do that on the other side as well. I think I'm just gonna leave it loose this time, but either way it should be cool. Let me show you the finished product. And oh, there's one more thing we can do. Let me show you one more trick here. You can see the hair is kind of all over. If we want it to sit in place, we go through the body from the back, grab the hair near the bottom of the chain, put a hair color piece through, just through the hair. And we're going to make a slip knot with that piece. So put the other end on the hook. This is the single we've just put through. Pull one end through the other and pull it to the back where we can. Again, secure it with a C-clip or tuck it in any which way, and that will keep your hair nice and straight because he has really, really straight hair. Do the other side really quickly. Poke it through the body, grab a little piece of the hair chain right near the bottom, bring a single through and create a slip knot. Sorry, I'm doing this at kind of a funny angle, but it is the same as what you saw on the other side. And when you're all ready, you can put this onto a C-clip or attach it to one of your existing C-clips. It's just one more finishing touch. Okay, so there is Legolas. I've got some more characters I want to get to you soon. And I thank you for watching.